Hello and welcome to CMCTV Talent. I am Bosco da Costa.
My name is Daniela Pregosa, and today's group have been performing together for 14 years.
Recorded live in Toronto, this is
CMCTV Talent.
They are a remarkable folk duo with over 14 years of musical collaboration. Formerly part of the renowned folk band Running Red Lights, they have toured the world together, initially as a romantic couple, now as musical partners.
After their romantic relationship ended, they realized they still share the same love for music, leading them to create a new musical project together. They are Wolfville!
You sit like a pillow, quietly watching TV. You are the curve that I burrow into. You are a mountain to me, but I won't say the words. I won't say the words. Instead, I'll brush the lid top of your shoulder, pull the lash from your eyes. Before you step over the cracks in the street, I'll make sure to your laces untied, but I won't say the words. I won't say the words until you say them first.
My favorite hour is 6 in the morning, when you're safely sound asleep. Your head on my heart, I look down at you and whisper quietly those 3 little words. Now what if you'd heard?
Maybe it's better if I write you a letter, but paper so easily torn. Just like my heart, that's old wound that I don't wanna hurt anymore. So I won't say the words. I won't. End of the sofa, you sit like a pillow. You are a mountain to me, but I won't say the words. I won't say the words. Instead, I'll brush the lint off of your shoulder.
I'll pull the lash from your eyes.
It's better if I write you a letter, but paper so easily torn. So I won't say the words. I won't say the words.
Wow! Wolfville, Kevin,
Thank you
Scarlett,
for
thank you
coming.
so much
Thank you.
for coming. That was absolutely amazing. What a beautiful song. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Much
Would you like to
appreciated.
introduce your band?
Yes, yeah, of course. This incredible band. That's my good friend Dave McDougall on the thunder drums back there. Just behind me, Mr. Jeffrey Carter on the thunder bass. This is one of my oldest friends back here, David Puzak on the thunder electric guitar.
Thank you for coming.
And this is the incredible Kirsten Johnson singing backup vocals, playing keys, doing all the incredible
Amazing.
things.
She's joining for the second song today.
Yes, yeah.
Amazing. Very, very cool. And the story of Wolfville is just amazing. It's mind-blowing. So you were in a relationship, touring the world with a band, but you broke up. But music was more powerful.
Yes. So Wolfville is a unique project, and it's in it had been in development for about 4 years of time. Kevin and I actually broke up in 2018, but we were part of a band, Running Red Lights, which the majority, if actually all of us, are here. So this is the original OG Running Red Lights, and actually Kevin is the drummer of Running Red Lights. So we were with that band that's 16 years or more, circa 2000, yeah, circa 2001. And during the majority of that time, Kevin and I were romantically involved, surreptitiously for the first little while. And yeah, we as co-writers, songwriters together really had a great chemistry as artists together. And when the breakup occurred, we were sort of in the middle of a tour together as a duo. There's an onboard entertainment program that Via Rail does, and you go across the country and you play on the train, and it's lovely, but you're stuck in very tight quarters. And we finished our tour in BC, and so during the course of that tour, we were in the midst of a pretty tense, difficult breakup.
Right?
Yeah.
I must ask, how was it so easy per se for you to keep up with the music, having the situation
Well, I
going
think
on?
what had happened, and it was sort of a eureka moment in the course of our performance, even though there was such, I wouldn't say animosity, definitely tense is a good word. There was a lot of hostilities or behind the scenes, but when during the performances, there was a rawness and an authenticity there, and you could definitely tell that the songs that we were singing, we were very much singing to each other in that moment, and it became a very remedial moment for us. But we could also tell that the audience receptiveness to it was really powerful, and so that's kind of where the spark of Wolfville, kind of like, the seeds of that idea started
What a great story.
take place.
And how does the relationship inspire the music of Wolfville?
Oh, well.
Is it
So-
still awkward for you guys to talk about it? Just wondering.
I mean, it's been long enough now that it's not as awkward, but I mean, it took it was a learning experience for sure.
To digest.
Yeah, because I think, so we broke up. We decided, it really wasn't working for either of us, and broke it off. But we still had performance contracts and all kinds of things. We just had to tough it out and kind of put up with each other. And but I think kind of through that we just realized the music's always been the most important thing to us, and we've always had a strong creative bond, and so we just have to keep going. And then at some point, after we had repaired the friendship enough, at some point we started showing each other songs we had written about each other.
Wow.
Which that was that took some time.
A lot of maturity. A lot of
I was
maturity.
going to say that. Yes, I was going to say, I don't know if I could be mature enough for that.
To do something like
but
that.
you're definitely an inspiration for me.
And honestly, I'm so glad you're still together as a duo, not as a couple anymore, but as a duo, because honestly, we would be missing such an amazing music. You are incredible. It's so great to see you performing together. There's a beautiful chemistry between the two of you, and so this new project, Wolfville. So all the songs you wrote are about each other.
Yes. So the way it's sort of unfolded naturally, but it's still currently in a development phase. The way in which we're projected to, sort of what we've envisioned with the project is to have it more be a live music concert intersecting with theater. So basically, it's a 15-song. Record at this point. It's meant to be parsed out in 3 acts, and so then it'd be performed. And I like to call it a song string, where you have one song that sort of strings into the next that tells a full narrative. So the 3 acts that we have, the beginning act is sort of the falling in love. It's the fun, cheeky act, you know, that where Say the Words is the first song off of that. So it's the falling in love. The second act is dissonance. So that's where sort of the
fighting.
That's the fun one. That was the fun one to write. And then the conclusion. There's sort of the reconciliation and the ending and the breakup and
that's really inspiring and very beautiful as well. I love that.
I love it.
So please
don't go anywhere because
right after the break we have more Scarlett and Kevin here with Wolfville on CMCTV Talent.
Stay tuned.
And welcome back to CMCTV Talent. We have Scarlett and Kevin today with us with their Wolfville project. It's been amazing to have you here.
That's right. And would you like to talk about your next song?
The one. Oh, this is what we call our big poppy hooky hit. Yeah, we like
I like
hit. It's a little bit outside the box in terms of the rest of the material because it is, as you can tell, very country, and it just came out very naturally. So we sort of just kept it as the song spoke for itself. It wanted to be a country song, so we're like, okay. But it's probably one of our favorites. It's the most angsty, and it gets a little cheeky on stage as we're performing it. It's the battle, and so that would be on the final act. So this is like Act 3. So this would be post breakup, and we're sort of in that stage where there's still a lot of hostility.
Right?
Not a lot has been resolved, and it's sort of that you'll recognize, eventually down the road, there's not going to be anyone else
like me.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like that we probably all have those.
We're thrilled to hear you.
Thank you.
All right, so this is The One by Wolfville right here on CMCTV Talent.
Please stay with us, guys.
You're better out there, 'cause you never tried being here, really being here with me. And here with all my mercy, and here with all this love, you took the hinges off the windows to escape love, so it's gonna hurt a lot. I find out you are not the same without me. You're not the same without me. And you'll never again feel the hit of a rain on your back as you beg to take me into you. Take me into you. Dear, you'll park outside my house and you'll long for me like a flower loves the sun. And then you'll know that I was the one. Simple things, tender loving things, but you were never those people. You're always had me chase your shame. But no matter who you were, always loved you, babe. So it's gonna hurt a lot to find out you will not be loved without me. You're not the same without me. You'll never again feel the hit of a ray on your back as you beg to take me into you. Take me into you. One day you'll park outside my house and you'll long for me like a flower longs for sun. And then you'll know that I was the one. Hey, I was the one. One day you'll say, remember when. In a message that you'll never send. When you were thinking about me in your shirt, my Levi jeans slumped in the dirt nervously. Oh, you dance with me. And about the days you wake in your bed and you reach for me 'cause you forget that I'm gone. I'm gone. And you'll never again feel the hit of a ray on your back as you beg to take me into you. Take me into you. One day you'll gather up these sparks of memories and turn them into songs. Singing now, I know that you were the one. You know I was the one. Yeah, I was the
Wow, that was incredible. Thank you so
Very,
much.
very good. Thank you.
We need to go for a very, very quick commercial break. But after this, there's more Wolfville.
Stay tuned. And welcome back to CMCTV Talent with these incredibly talented people.
We have Wolfville today with us, and the next song you're performing is my favorite. I love it so much. How to Be an Astronaut. Where did the inspiration come from?
Well, so that song was actually written during the pandemic, kind of early on into the pandemic. And, you know, the breakup was relatively new or fresh at that point.
We had been living apart at that point. I mean, we had lived together for like 13 years together.
Wow.
So at that point, it was the first time in 13 years that I had been on my own. And of course, the pandemic happened shortly thereafter, and so that feeling of isolation just was really internalizing those feelings. And there's so of course, you know, the whole astronaut metaphor, and so it started from there. And yeah, it's one of our favorites. I was initially inspired to write it in sort of a lullaby style. I really liked that, you know, that feeling of sort of the image of being alone in your bedroom and really feeling like those emotions, that isolation and the loneliness, and so the association with like the feeling in space and floating in space and all of those things. So
That's beautiful.
That's very beautiful.
So this is How to Be an Astronaut by Wolfville.
Stay with us.
Since you've been gone, I've learned a lot, like how to be an astronaut, to be alone with darkness all around, to feel the earth as it pulls me down, night or day, evermore. could move, small in my bed in this infinite room. How lonely it is to be an astronaut. How lonely. Since you've been gone, I've quite forgot what had been and what had not. Though I picture myself loving you, I don't know if that is true. 'Cause a lonely heart is like an ocean floor. If you churn the sand, you'll find something you had not before. Oh, paradise lost, it's a beautiful lie. But the truth is that I don't love you. I'm just blue and alone, like a boy in a boat that's as big as the sky. And now you know how lonely it is to be an astronaut. How lonely I orbit around like an all-anchored moon, small in my bed in this infinite room. How lonely it is to be an astronaut. Since you've been gone, I've learned a lot, like how to be an astronaut.
How to be an astronaut.
Amazing.
Oh my God.
Everyone
Yeah.
was in shock. watching
I
you
got
guys.
chills. Did you get chills?
I did.
Goosebumps everywhere.
I
Oh my God. Amazing.
Amazing.
Wow, wow, wow.
And now it's time for you guys to share your social media. Where can your public, stay in contact with you? Everything. It's your time now.
Yeah. So we're probably most active on Instagram and TikTok, and both of those you can find us at We Are Wolfville. So it's just We Are and then Wolfville, WOLFVILLE.
Perfect.
It's on the screen. People will see it and read it.
Yes.
But honestly, I'm very sad right now. It's
Me too.
devastating. And we have
One last song.
just one.
Would you guys like to talk about the last song?
Good Bones. What is it about?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny because this is the last song, so of the entire album, so the entire act, or piece, if you will.
The end of the chapter?
It's the end of the chapter. It's the closing chapter. But it was the first song of the entire series to be written, which is interesting.
Wow. I love
Yeah.
that.
And it was actually the song that sort of launched the entire project.
Wow.
That's very
Yeah.
interesting.
And it just sort of happened very, very organically and naturally. And I think at that point there had been some reconciliation that had happened between us. And the line, although we didn't survive it, damn, we came so close. And sort of that would just happen naturally during a conversation that we were having. And I just it was just even though this such. Doesn't sound like a song lyric, but it just sort of encompassed everything in that moment that I feel like during the reconciliation, everything that we were going through, yeah. So I don't know. Do you have any further
Comments?
Yeah, I think you summed it up. I mean, I think that song is about sort of reconciliation and finding a path to some, you know, to love can take on so many different forms, and so, you know, the romantic side may have run its course, but we still managed to find a friendship and a bond, mostly through
I have
music.
to tell you guys, that's very, very uncommon.
Yeah, I mean,
So-
you know, there's plenty of, you know, stories that exist where bands, you know, have
Just end up-
lovers included inside of it, and it explodes the whole thing. But
You guys just saw behind, right? Like,
yeah, I think, you know, the music was always the most important thing to us, and so once this song sort of fell out of us, we were like, that was kind of the catalyst for us showing each other some of the other songs we'd written, which weren't all about, you know, reconciliation, and some were harder to share than others, but we kind of realized we had this whole storyline kind of sitting in front of us, so then we went back and sort of finished other songs that were unfinished. And
So Wolfville, it was amazing having you here. I'm so
Thank you,
glad
everybody,
you're
for
still
coming.
performing together. The relationship is over, but the musical connection is still there. And I'm so glad you're still performing, because we would miss so
much talent.
So much
Would
if you
be
weren't
a
playing
waste.
together.
Thank you so much for having us. We're absolutely honored to be here, and just appreciate you guys for showcasing Canadian talent. It's amazing what you guys are doing. Thank you so
pleasure.
much. Thank you.
Exactly. Right here.
oh yes, on CMCTV Talent.
So this is Wolfville. See you next week.
We'll see you next week. Stay tuned, guys.
Our love had good bones, but we filled the frame with clay. And every time a storm would come, a little love would slip away. Then acrimony emptied every sweet memory we owned, and we buried all the butterflies, and we started throwing stones. Although we didn't survive it, damn, we came so close. I know it's hard to see through the ruins, baby. Our love had good bones. Yes, our love had good bones.
our love had good bones, and somewhere beneath the ash, we started
Pushing like a wildflower up between the cracks.
regardless of this sadness. I'm so thankful that we met.
Not a single moment with you will I grow to regret. Although we didn't survive it, damn, we came so close. I know it's hard to see through the ruins, baby, but our love had good bones. Yes, our love had good bones. Oh, good bones. Caught up in the wreckage, I know it's so hard for us to see. Maybe this was never about forever for you and me. Maybe it was meant to show us how love's supposed to be. 'Cause although we didn't survive it, but damn, we came so close. I know it's hard to see